Well, the Trump administration has extended the deadline for the reintroduction of the president's Liberation Day tariffs, pushing them back by roughly 3 weeks. Now, there were mixed messages from Mr Trump today, who initially said the tariffs will be being put in place as planned on July 9, before his Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick helped clarify some details.
The tariffs are going to be the tariffs. I think we'll have most countries done by July 9th, yeah. Either a letter or a deal.
But they go into effect on August 1st. The tariffs go into effect August 1st, but the president is setting the rates and the deals right now.
Later in the day, the president posted on his Truth Social website saying the US would start sending tariff letters and/or deals to various countries overnight tonight. He also posted this threat to the countries aligned with the BRICS. That's Brazil, Russia, India and China. Any country aligning themselves with the anti-American policies of the BRICS will be charged with an additional 10% tariff. There will be no exceptions to this policy. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, for more on this, I'm joined by Dianne Tipping, the chair of the Export Council of Australia. Dianne, thanks for your time. Obviously, a couple of different announcements from the Trump administration today, but I think the kicker is the 10% tariffs will be put back in place on August the 1st. Obviously, not ideal for Australian exporters, but it's not a terrible outcome, is it?
Not. And hello, thank you. The Trump administration announced that they're renegotiating still a lot of countries, and that the deadline, which was 9th of July, is now put through to the 1st of August. So this extension obviously is needed. It's not easy it's very complex to negotiate any tariff or trade deal. And that's what they're doing. And they're doing it with every country in the world that they can. So it will also give the Trump administration further excuses to revise upwards some of the tariffs imposed on its trade partners. So I think we saw this coming. We didn't think that this would all finish on the 9th. Australia, I will say that 10% is not ideal, but it's not the worst in the world. But I do want to really be careful here and qualify that we don't know what will happen on the 1st of August. I think Australia sits in a very reasonable position. We export less than what we import from the USA, so we're not at the top of the list of this reciprocal tariff issue. And I think there's a lot of things that we need to think about in regards to where we go with this, how we manage it. And I think so far the Australian government is doing a reasonable job. We shouldn't be panicking. It's not going to make it better. And I think, look, the Trump administration does see significant value in these tariffs. It's collected about US $19.3 billion since April, which is 3.5 times what they normally earn on tariffs into the USA. So they're not in a hurry to worry too much about, pushing this any further. They want to just keep this money coming in. They want to have set rates. I think that we just need to sit and wait and see what happens.
Yeah, you mentioned our government. I mean, our Prime Minister, Albanese, he's sort of avoided being controversial in the media. He hasn't really tried to say anything to upset Trump, whereas other leaders, you think of the Canadian PM, have sort of got into a verbal argument with Trump through the media. They've been targeted with heavier tariffs and are now paying the price. So you think Australia's strategy here seems to be paying off?
Well, I'm not sure I'd use the word paying off, but it's not causing us extreme problems at the moment. As I mentioned, we're not a priority for the US at this time. It's not because we're not important. We are an important country, security and other ways with the USA. But an agreement with Australia is unlikely to have any significant impact on its trade balance sheet with the US, on the US's trade balance sheet. So it's not a bad situation for Australia to be in. And I think I do think that our Prime Minister does need to meet with the President, but not in a hurry. It needs to be a very calculated meeting. It needs to be very planned and very, very carefully managed. We do need to have that meeting, and we can't be seen to just turn our head and look the other way. We do need to do that.
So how are your members and Aussie exporters really feeling at the moment with everything that's going on?
Well, there's no universal response. Everyone has a different view. The strategies are influenced by their size, the company's sizes and cost-benefit analysis. And most exporters, especially smaller ones, those new to the US, have decided to delay or halt their ventures into the US. Others, and we do have a lot of companies that do a lot of work in Australia, Australian companies that manufacture in Australia that have offices and opportunities in the US. So they're actively thinking about moving facilities to the USA to minimise the potential problems or costs related. But that was always something that could happen anyway. Once you set up in the USA, it is a very big market, and you can see the benefits logistically and supply chain ways to manage that a lot smarter. So I think we just need to sit back and wait and see. Our advice to our members and all exporters is to diversify, to look at other markets, to look at niche products, how to innovate your product, and look at a product that will,
Dianne,
that someone wants.
Thank you. I'm sorry we've run out of time. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.